And Nancy?
Yeah, I was just going to add, it just reminded me of Louis XVI, like his court, he wanted everyone to look just like him too, right? Like, isn't it kind of similar?
Right,
totally,
right. No, thank you, Nancy. Right. Yeah, it's a totally different culture, but it's the same period, Nancy. This is also 17th and 18th century. It's exactly the same period. And actually, Kangxi Emperor, for example, he really liked European clocks and European scientific tools. He collected the European works. But anyhow, yeah, so it's humiliating. So a lot of people, abandoned it. But so in Manchu clothes, you usually have this. Where do you see this kind of hand covering sleeve these days?
In athletic wear.
Yeah. Myself, right? Like you put the thumb inside, right, and then you cover like halfway through so that it's warm. You don't really have to wear gloves, right? And these Manchu sleeves are exactly like this. If you see here, do you see the the sleeves a little bit elongated, hand cover, and then here too. So again, these are status symbol. They always have this long fingernail. They have to maintain a long fingernail. So in order to protect them, they had that like a hand cover. Sleeves will always look like this. So can anybody explain why long nails are important for warriors? Any idea?
Is it for fighting? Does it help?
Yes, Emma. Yeah, just like a bear. You can imagine, right? Like as a warrior, their models of a good fighter is bear. So you stand up, right, and then you scratch with your claws. So that was the idea. So this like a bachi officer, right, like a 8 banner, like there are 1, 2, 3, but 8 banner officer, like a highest level of elite warriors. They are very important for tribes. So they don't do any manual work. All they do is just like a professional athlete. They eat and they do some like really maintaining, conditioning, and then they rest because these are nomads. So when they are under attack by enemies or by animals, they will fight with their weapons, whatever. But then when they lost weapons, what comes to your bare bodies? Then it's really like you fight off with your body. So that it's their tradition. So as a warrior, you are supposed to have the long fingernail, but if you are doing labors, you cannot maintain the fingers, right? So you cut the nail and you work. You have a very dirty, not so clean fingers, like long fingers. So that's social significance. So when the Manchus became into the throne, you have to follow that style, long fingernail and long braided hair, because the imperial family came from that Bachi officer class. And then look at this. There is another purpose for the long braided hair. His pigtail must be taken back to his hometown to be buried solemnly, which was called Xiao So if you don't have that hair back in the hometown, then people will be very sorry, and they say, oh, this person didn't rest home yet, like meandering somewhere. So you killed a Manchu warrior and then you burnt their pigtail. What does that mean? It's really excruciating offense, right? It's like you eliminate the opportunity of somebody's soul being returned to the hometown. Then yeah, there are certain conventions. So the idea is, do you see the light blue clothes that he has with the hand covering? So this is a basic shirt, right? So that's the same color. And then that is a little bit longer, but he has a trousers underneath. And then he has this dark blue coat. And again, with the top buttons. Yeah, this is also nomadic buttons. They don't like the sashes or ribbons. Then you cannot really ride animals, like a horseback. So it's a nomadic clothes. And then the head is like this, like a cone-shaped head. And it is a little firm and durable because your head should be protected. Without the head, you will be cold too, right? Because you shaved your head in the front. So that's the basic component of the Manchu dress. And then that Manchu dress, the outer garment that he has, became a little bit more Chinese style. So they maintained the round neck, but they made the side closer like this. You've seen this a lot. This is called like a Chinese collar. Like sometimes you have a collar, and then you have a Chinese clothing. And then it is long like this. So it's another emperor. Kangxi emperor is a young man with hand coverings. And then this is a dragon robe. So Kangxi emperor depicted many times in the portraiture, and that is what you see in the museums as the dragon robe. So these colors are separate, but then clothes, their type looks very much like this. So round neck and closing on the side. So the round neck and then closing on the side over here, and then you open it up, and then underneath he has a basic garments. And then ceremonial robe with a little bit more purse strings. So they didn't have Mian Fu or Pian Fu. This is their highest ceremonial robe. These are all embroidered.